All right, guys, I'm back. I want to do some reactionary content, right? Um, so I've been being sent this. I got sent this by a friend of mine in real life. Also got sent this by a couple of my mutuals who wants me to cover this topic. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover this. I read a little bit of it to have a gist of what's going on here, but I never covered this entire situation in totality. So this will kind of be somewhat of a raw reaction to what's going on. From what I currently know about this situation, this is a situation with a woman who's a nurse who I believe she went out to the club and there was some kind of altercation that happened at the club. And this is her boyfriend texting her about being upset, right? Now, of course, a post like this is engagement bait, because you're gonna have a lot of I'm already gonna tell you how this post is gonna go. It's gonna be a mixed post, but you definitely will see a lot of women who are going to be on the woman's side, just naturally, right? Women don't like being reprimanded in any capacity by a man. Told that you did something that made me feel uncomfortable. I didn't like what you did there. Any case of a man establishing any kind of boundaries that he might have in a relationship, a woman is always going to shame and say that he's pussy, he's not man enough, he's not masculine enough, rooted in insecurity. That's always going to be the case with any kind of boundary that a man has. Doesn't matter how reasonable the boundary is. All boundaries for a man is inherently wrong, right? Like, this is what social media tells us all the time. If you establish any boundaries in a relationship with your significant other, you are insecure as a man. And this is why I continuously say that commitment, marriage, all of these things are systems of the past, right? We are not living in a world, in a society currently that is conducive for long-lasting commitment, marriage, or anything of the sort. In my opinion, you should not ever be committing to a woman in this day and age, because the vast majority of women, especially black women, right? Because black women is a very unique case in this whole Western woman thing. Women don't have anything. They don't deserve commitment. Because basically almost everything that you could want from a woman, you can gain without even committing to her in the first place. If you want access to her body, you can gain that. If you want just someone to talk to, you can have that. I would argue that you get the best version of a woman when you're not committed to her, and when she wants you to commit, but you're holding out on commitment, because you basically remain in a perpetual honeymoon state where she's kind of fighting and hoping that you eventually commit to her, but you never do. That is probably the best period to ever be in a relationship. The guy who gets the woman fresh after a breakup, the side dude who she's cheating on you with, she might not like, I hate to use this example, but there's a lot of guys who are in sexless relationships, and she might not be sucking your dick, but she's sucking the guy who she's cheating on you with dick. She's definitely sucking his dick, right? Consider that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and dive into this post. So the post reads, "Yes, because what the fuck, babe? You are literally starting nursing school. But you, instead of carrying yourself like an upstanding model citizen, you want to get into it with a dude at a club. Like, do you not see the disconnect here? Do better. You lucky I wasn't there, because you would have gotten taken smooth up out of there. Let me make something perfectly clear for you. You are a representation of me. When you are out in public, I bet not ever hear you getting into it with anyone, especially not no dude. You are a lady, but not just any lady. You are my lady. And you need to govern yourself as such. Do I make myself clear? So this is how do I feel about this response? You only get one time to really do something like this. If this is like if this is her first time doing something like this, and you're warning her, you're letting her know your boundaries, this is fine. Okay? I don't think this is grounds for an immediate breakup per se, but it is definitely grounds to establish your boundaries and what you're okay with. Now, I will also preference this by saying 9 times out of 10, this might actually happen again, right? If she's the type of girl who is going to get into it at the club, that's probably just rooted in her as a person. You reprimanding her depends on the level in which she cares about you. But most black women put themselves and their needs and what they want to do first, right? But if, depending on where you are in your relationship and how much she cares about you, she might actually make that adjustment for you. That's not always the case though. So I'm not against this response. I think this is a perfectly good response, especially here at the end, right? Because he came off quite aggressive. He did kind of a push-pull thing where he came off aggressive, and I can, like, as a woman, she's going to be reading all this and kind of thinking like, hey, you have, like, especially a black woman, you're trying to put me in my place. I'm not going to allow that to happen, right? Black women are always in a basically it's always a fight for power with black women, right? It's always a fight for power with them, and they don't want you to like establish any kind of boundaries or anything of that sort. So, but at the end here, you did pretty well, because you said, hey, you are a lady, but not just any lady. You are my lady. That's gonna kind of switch her emotions to like butterflies, toward the end. So if she was mad at you for this top part right here, she's not gonna be mad when she reads this part, right? And if she is still a little upset, her response is definitely gonna be toned down because you added this part here at the bottom, right? But yeah, I think he dealt with this well. I don't see any problem wrong with this at all. But I definitely know it's gonna be probably World War III in this comment section, right? I can just tell by the engagements, the views, the likes, the bookmarks, the comments. This thread is going crazy on the Twitter. So let's see. He's right. Don't know the backstory, but unless her or someone else's life is in danger, there's no reason to argue with someone, with some strange man she doesn't know. That's another thing. Women like to argue with men way too fucking much. And the only reason this can happen is because we live in a Western society in which men are conditioned and programmed to not put hands on women. If this happened in the old world, this could never happen. If you tried to come out your mouth at a male soldier or anything of that sort, because most of men thousands of years ago were in some kind of military position, they would probably rip your head off, right? You had to have respect for the man. A woman wouldn't even if a woman even opened her mouth to speak to a man a certain way, that all the women around would probably check like, hey, you might not want to do that because that man has the physical strength to rip your head off. But in today's Western society, that can happen. You can have a woman who will talk to you any kind of way, will talk to you with complete disrespect, will talk to you with absolute, vitriol. She'll hit you, she'll call you all kind of bitch niggas, fuck niggas, hoe ass nigga, this, that, third. And you're not supposed to put your hands on her because you are a man, right? And culturally that is wrong. And that, that's one of the things that irritated me so much about the Brick Lady situation, because with the Brick Lady situation was I don't know if people realize how disrespectful the narrative around that situation was to men as a whole, because these women basically blatantly lied and tried to paint a narrative that men would stand there and be complicit in a woman being beat down with a brick by the hands of another man while other men are around. And that is a fucking absurd thing to suggest, especially in the black community. That is the black community is extremely gynocentric. It's one of the most gynocentric communities on the face of the earth, is the black community, in which women are essentially worshipped in the black community. Women cannot do any wrong. If a woman is to be hit in any capacity in a public area in front of a crowd of men, especially in a club, and I've seen this happen, and anyone who's been to any kind of club environment likely has seen this happen before as well. If a woman gets touched inappropriately, hit on, anything of that sort, if she breaks out and starts yelling at a guy and draws attention, or a man, hits her, touches her inappropriately, like I said before, anything of that sort, there is going to be a swarm of men in that club that swarm him, grab him up, and beat him the fuck down or toss him out of the club. It's not just going to be bouncers, but it's going to be regular club goers. Regular guys who are in the club as well are going to swarm that man who is assaulting, harassing, trying to sexually assault, any kind of thing negative to that black woman in any capacity, will be quickly reprimanded by the men that are in the vicinity. Men are hopping into a situation to beat a man down, to be a white knight, to protect a black woman. That is the most absurd idea ever with the Brick Lady situation, of a woman being beat down by a brick, with a brick, by a man, and nobody interrupting. And thank God, if you listen closely to that video, you actually hear the men in the video saying, "Where's the guy? We didn't see him. Where's the brick? What are you talking about?" Right? Because she was lying and making up some shit that never fucking happened, right? That nobody saw to fucking try to reprimand. And this happens everywhere in society. Like, how many times have you guys just been walking through a grocery store, walking through somewhere like Walmart, and you would see a man beating down on a woman? That's something you don't see, right? But flip that in reverse. You've probably been walking through a grocery store somewhere in public, and you would see a woman hit a man. Shit, I was driving in traffic just the other day, and I seen at the stoplight, I looked over to my left, and you see a woman beating down a man at the fucking stoplight, just hitting him. And even when the light turns green and we're taking off, she's still hitting him. Walmart, that's something you see sometimes too. A woman hitting a man. You'll see an argument between a man and a woman, likely a couple, and then the woman hits the man. And what does everyone do? Everyone just kind of laughs, chuckles, and goes on about their day, because a woman hitting a man is comedy. It's funny. Society, that's something that society laughs at, right? But if you see the something in the reverse, right? If you see a man, a husband, put his hands on a wife in a public manner, you're gonna have all the men in the store are likely going to approach that situation and take him up off that woman. It doesn't matter if that's her husband. It does not fucking matter if that's her boyfriend. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. They don't care what the context is. They don't care about anything. You see, with the woman, everyone's gonna care about the context. Everyone, oh, he probably cheated on her. Blah 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 blah. Ha ha ha. Stupid guy. He's getting beat up by a woman in public. But if it's a man putting hands on a woman, it's never gonna go that way. Society just does not function like that. Most men are from birth, culturally programmed to step in and help a woman who is in need. And still till this day, that is something, a cultural programming that just exists within most men. And even with all the bullshit that I might talk on this platform, if a woman is being attacked right before my eyes, my biological programming as a man is likely just to kick in. Even if it's a Keisha that I don't like, I probably won't be able to override my biological programming as a man to hop in and defend her, right? Because that's just something that is ingrained in most men, especially in Western society. So, these women get really, really, really aggressive with men, and it's not right, and this could not go in any other society but our current Western society. But let's go on. I'm 16 minutes in and I have not even got through the comment section that well. So let's go ahead and go through some of these. So let a random man talk to you any kind of way. Yeah. You see how many likes this got? You see, this has 16K likes. So to get 2K likes in the comment section is telling you that a lot of women agree with this sentiment. A lot of women are agreeing with what she is saying, right? And I bet you if you go through the people, the likes, I bet you these are majority women. See, women, right? Women. These are all women. Women. Look, I could just scroll down and stop one random place. We're gonna see some blank profiles, but women, right? Women. Probably some gay boys. Like this might be, what is this? Oh, a LeBron motherfucking picture. But it's mostly women, right? Mostly women. Then you probably gonna see some gay boys and some like all these profiles that anonymous profiles are probably women as well, right? These are the people who's agreeing with it. They're saying, hey, you letting a man talk to you like this? Right? That's what she's getting from it, right? She's in her aggressive state. She's like, this is what she would say is, yeah, I'm not gonna let you talk to me like that, right? So this is a broad that you just have to cut off, right? Because she wants to be big boned, a bigger lady, a lady on the bigger side, and think that she's gonna tell you that you can't have boundaries. Like, this is fucking wild, right? These are just basic boundaries. He wasn't wrong. Talking to her like a child. Look, 8.4K likes. So talking to her like a child, he expects her to do better, right? But talking to her like a child, you see, this is what a lot of women are agreeing with. And what kind of man is saying this? I'm just curious, what kind of man is saying this? Bro, I really want to know what kind of man is saying this. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I got to know what kind of man has this to say. Because I'm sorry, I need to know what kind of man has that comment on this. Like, it's always strange to me when I see men who have takes that are more conducive to what a woman would say. It's always interesting to me. Like, I always want to stop to say, what kind of man is this? Is this possibly a LGBTQIA plus member, perhaps? Is this a, like, what exactly do we have going on here? Is this a blue pilled simp? Like, what do we have? Like, I would love to just have a quick 30-second conversation with this guy so I can feel out what his thought process is of this comment, right? Dexter, do better. He had until he said you are a representation of me. Well, you are, right? You are. If you're with a man, you are that man's face card. So if you are with a man and you're outside twerking at a club, that man's gonna begin texts like, yo, you know, your girl out here going wild, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are a representation of that man when you are outside. That's a given, right? We can't just sit here and try to deny that. You know, do I make myself clear is crazy? You know, that's how you talk to a child, not a partner. And who knows the exact history behind this conversation? Who knows, right? Who fucking knows, right? He was telling her to chill out before he got to step in and be the man and get beat or shot because she wants to get into it with a random dude. He is smart. So why are you assuming that he's gonna get beat or shot? Like, you're kind of like, how do you not know that the other guy is gonna get beat or shot? All dudes that died behind a woman could have just walked away. True. And that's what men are starting to learn, right? It's like men are starting to learn to fight that biological urge to step in and defend a black woman, because most black women are not deserving of defense. So I'm very happy that we're in an era where men are starting to learn that. And, you know, I agree with you. Men should not step in as much. But we're in a transitional era of where, like I said, I don't want to step in, but who knows, when put in the actual situation, my biological urges might kick in and I might just step in, right? I mean, that's cool with me. Then she hit back with the same delivery. Don't say I'm talking down. Make you feel less than a man or not. What is this? OnlyFans mommy meat? What the fuck kind of bullshit is this? Mommy meat. Kind of bullshit. And OnlyFans, always an OnlyFans opinion, right? The representation part, I don't know how I feel about that part. You know, see, I don't think a woman would have any issue with the whole representation thing if it was flipped around. If a woman told a man, hey, while you're out this doesn't really even sound like something a woman would say, but let's say a woman did say that, I just don't think these women would have the same reply. I just don't think. I think they would quickly understand what a woman is saying. She's saying, hey, he's essentially saying, you're my face card. We know what the fuck that means. When you're tied in a relationship with someone, what the fuck is commitment? And this is why I went on the whole, you know, thing earlier where I said, hey, commitment is stupid. We should not be giving women commitment, because if all these women just have a simple issue with being the representation of a man, then what is commitment even about? When you are in a committed relationship, you are representing each other to a certain degree, and it's a two-way street. He's representing you. What is one of the biggest issues that women have with cheating is looking crazy, right? Why does she have an issue with looking crazy? It's because of the face card. It's because that the man is literally a representation of you. So if you're outside fucking, you know, your girl's homegirls and shit, she feels like she looks crazy. You know, I've heard women even say, hey, you know, basically low key, if he went to another town and did that shit, I wouldn't even be as mad. But it's because he's in my city doing it and my homegirls know about this shit. They're super angry now, right? They're angry both ways, you know, especially girls who are dealing with richer men, right? A lot of their policies is, yo, just don't get caught up. Just don't make me look crazy. That's a lot of women's policies on the low. is just don't, especially if she's with a rich guy who she knows she can't control, just don't let me look crazy, right? That's the fucking unspoken policy, right? But yeah, I mean, these comment sections is about what I thought it would be. It's a lot of women who are, you know, it's a mixed bag. Some people are saying they support it. Some people, it's the delivery, you know, the whole delivery crowd. You know, I understand that side. And, you know, like I said, his delivery was a little, you know, wow. You know, but again, you can't police how somebody responds to feeling like they, you know, like you played with their face card. Like, this is how the guy feels right now. He in this moment, he feels like she played with his face card. So he's establishing his boundaries in an assertive way over a text message, right? And, you know, I'm not about to police how anybody replies to anything. Only thing I would say here is don't be in this situation where you're doing this often, right? You should only have to do this in a relationship 2 or 3 times. Like, it should not be an everyday thing. If this is something that's continuously reoccurring, you just cut the girl off. It's a billion fish out there in the sea. It's not that serious, especially in today's age. You know, it's not that serious. Just cut her off, go on to the next one, right? But yeah, that's basically my take on this situation. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out.